Hopefully I enjoy it. Wait, hopefully I don't enjoy it. I'm trying to get rid of books. Damn it. What's up everyone? My name is Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a try a chapter tag unhaul. So my physical TBR has recently gotten crazy out of control. I got a bunch of new books for my birthday that I'm definitely interested in reading, and I have a bunch of older books on my TBR that I'm not sure if I'm interested in anymore. So I picked out 10 of them, 10 or 11. I have a stack here that I'm going to read a chapter of. If I'm not into it, then I'm gonna unhaul it. I don't know what my criteria are though. Like, I know I'm gonna give myself one chapter at least. I mean, there are some authors in here that I know have a tendency to do like one-page chapters, so I'm thinking like 10 to 15 pages at least for a chapter. And then if it's not grasping my attention, if there's something I don't like about the writing, those are my criteria. I'm really trying to narrow down the TBR though, so I'm gonna try to be pretty harsh and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna do like updates as I go along, and I'm starting with, oh no, I just realized I'm filming facing towards me, so this is gonna be backwards. But it's The Wicked Deep by UNHAUL, which I think is about this city where there's some sort of curse, and every summer these witch girls lure 3 boys into the river to drown. Something like that. If I do like it, that would be a great October read. But alright, I'll update after I read this chapter. Okay, so I'm on page 8 of The Wicked Deep, and I am sadly already getting a not like other girls vibe from this main character. Her friend is like, let's go to a party on the beach, and she's like, I'm just not into parties on the beach. I'd rather read tide charts than drink beers with people I barely know. Good for you. I am going to finish the chapter. Let's see how many, there's only like 3 pages left. It would have to be a pretty drastic change at this point for me to want to keep reading this book, but we'll see. Okay, I finished chapter 1 of The Wicked Deep, and I think I'm unhauling it. Already dislike the main character, and I'm very confused about how this plot can go anywhere. Like, the last part of this chapter says, ever since the 3 Swan sisters were drowned in our harbor, tonight's party is the start of a season that will bring more than just tourist dollars, blah blah blah, but always, every year without fail or falter, it also brings death. Why do people still go to this city if every year 3 people do actually die? Why does anyone live here? Why would you raise your teenage boys here? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm glad I think I bought this at like deep discount, you know, my bargain. Yeah, it's got the black mark on it, so it was probably like $6. Oh well. Next book, let's see what we've got here. This is my stack of books here. I think I'm gonna go with American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I read Neil Gaiman's book, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and didn't like it at all. But I also read the book he wrote with Terry Pratchett, Good Omens, and I loved it. So guess I'll decide in the first chapter if I like his writing style without Terry Pratchett. Here we go. Alright, I stepped outside to film this bit because my boyfriend's playing a game and it's very loud. So hopefully my neighbor's air conditioner isn't too loud and you can hear me. I finished the first chapter of American Gods, and I think I'm keeping it. It's just really interesting, and I'm into the writing style, and I like the main character, and like some tragic shit has happened already, but like I want to know what happens next, so I think I'm gonna keep it. Next, I'm going to read a chapter of Golden Boy by Abigail Tartland. This one I'm unsure about because I've heard some not great things about the rep. So I think this one is about a boy who is intersex and whose father is running for parliament, and it comes out that he's intersex, and it's like a coming of age family drama type deal. I'm just not sure it sounds that great anymore. It looks like a library book, but I got it at a library sale, so it wouldn't be a huge loss if I got rid of it. Okay, I just finished, let's see, it was 30 pages of Golden Boy. There's not really chapters in this book, it just alternates perspectives. So my goal was to read 15 pages and I read to 30 because it's actually really good. I was concerned enough about the rep that I looked up some Own Voices reviews and they all sound pretty positive, so that's good. The beginning of this book starts pretty heavy content-wise, so be aware of that. But also, like, I already really love the main character, Max, and the dynamics of the family are interesting. And obviously I read 15 pages more than I required myself to, so I'm into it, and I think I'm gonna put it on my TBR for next month. And obviously I'm keeping this one, so Next up, I'm going to read, I think I'm going to do Midnight at the Electric by something Anderson, which is a young adult, maybe like magical realism. My only concern is that it's like a 2-timeline type deal, and one of the timelines is historic, and I'm generally not into that, but we'll see. Okay, I have decided to unhaul Midnight at the Electric because it's just kind of boring. You can tell right from the start it's going to be one of those like slow, atmospheric books, and I'm just not into that. So next up, I'm reading Brooded by Naomi Novik. I've heard good and bad things about this. It's a fantasy book about this girl who lives in a village that's protected by a man they call the dragon, and every 10 years he selects a girl to come serve him without question. And our main character is pretty sure she won't be chosen, but I get the feeling she probably will be. Okay, I finished the first chapter of Brooded, and I'm keeping it. It was really good. So that means I've read 5 first chapters, and I'm only getting rid of 2 books. So this is a failure so far. Next, I'm reading a chapter of The Lovely Bones, which I literally know nothing about. I bought it at a library sale. Oh, this one follows a girl after she dies, and her spirit is like lingering around trying to figure out what happened or something. Alright, I'm doing this update in my car because I kind of totally forgot I was filming a video today. Hopefully it's not too loud. I got a few pages into The Lovely Bones when I remembered that I don't like books from the perspectives of characters that are already dead, or in general when you already know what happens to the characters, or the main character at least, so I'm unhauling it. So The Lovely Bones is going. Now I have 3 books that I've unhauled, yay, and I think I have 4 more books in my stack that I want to read the first chapter of. So the next I think I'm going to do, it's called Phoenix Unbound by Grace Draven, and it is an adult fantasy. I got it in a book box, and I don't even think I read the synopsis. Like, I stopped ordering book boxes for those reasons. So I'll update you when I start that. Okay, I have read 1 chapter of Phoenix Unbound, which is about, now that I've read the back copy, this village. It's like a historical fantasy in like an alternate fantasy world, where every year all of the villages in this empire have to send a girl to be burned at the stake and offered to their gladiators, I guess. But there's this one girl who's been going year after year after year for this village because she has some sort of like fire ability, so she disguises herself and keeps going so that they don't have to sacrifice someone else, but also she doesn't really have a choice because the rest of the village threatens her family if she doesn't come back and do this over and over. And then there's this one guy, a gladiator, who somehow is remembering her year after year, so at the end of chapter 1, we've just gotten to the point where she realizes that he remembers her again. So it's interesting. I mean, the writing is not great, and I'm reading some of the what do they call these? Some of the blurbs, and they're from like paranormal romance authors. So I'm getting the impression that this is like a romantic fantasy. So my expectations are a little different for that. But I'm kind of intrigued from the first chapter, so I think I'm going to keep it. Wow, this is really a failure of a video. Okay, I'm back. I actually haven't filmed in like 2 days. Yesterday I had a really bad sore throat, and today I'm still not feeling great, but also I was reading a really good book that I didn't want to pause to read the first chapter of these books. So that book was Gemina by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, which is book 2 in the Illuminae files, and I loved it way more than the first one. I only gave the first one 3 stars. I gave this one 4 stars, but it was like way more exciting, I feel, than Illuminae. So I'm finally getting back on my 1 chapter thing. I'm actually still kind of sick. I'm on my lunch break right now. Rather than getting everyone I work with sick, I'm working from home today. So on my lunch, I'm going to read 1 chapter of How to Tell Toledo from the Night Sky. I only bought this book because it's set in Toledo and I'm from Toledo, and it's the only book I've ever found that takes place in Toledo. So I think it's like a contemporary romance type deal, and I'm pretty sure one of the main characters is like an astronomer. Yeah, so we'll give this a shot, see how it goes. Okay, I finished the first chapter of How to Tell Toledo from the Night Sky, and I'm definitely getting rid of it. I'm very confused by the tone because it is like the writing is super lighthearted and casual sounding, but like in the first chapter, this woman's mom dies and it's like very sad. So there's this like weird disconnect between the writing style and the content that's just not working for me. Like there are some bits that I can tell are supposed to be like darkly funny, but it's really not working. So I'm gonna get rid of it. All right, so that means I have read 8 books now, 8 first chapters, and I'm only keeping 4. Am I keeping 4? Shit, I can't remember. I have a stack of Unhauls. I guess I'll like wrap it all up at the end. How about that? My next first chapter is going to be from American Street by Ibby Boy. This is a contemporary about a girl. It's about a girl from Haiti who moves to the US without her immediate family and has to move in with her extended family. And it's like coming of age, maybe a little bit of romance, I can't remember. But I've heard really good things about this author, Ibby Boy, so hopefully I enjoy it. Wait, hopefully I don't enjoy it. I'm trying to get rid of books. Damn it. Alright, I read the first chapter of American Street, and I'm keeping it. It's really interesting, and I already like the main character, and I like the dynamic between her extended family in Detroit. Also, I'm from Toledo, which is like an hour south of Detroit, so it's interesting to read. It's always interesting to read about places that you're actually familiar with. And I like the writing style. Also, I'm reading it very quickly. The first chapter was only like 6 pages long, so I read to page 25. So yeah, this is book 9. I have one more book to read, and it is 77 Shadow Street by Dean Koontz. The only thing I remember about this, I think it's one of those like haunted hotels or apartment buildings, you know? The whole cast of characters. I really like Dean Koontz writing, so we'll see how this goes. I really want to get rid of one more, but I can't bring myself to hope I dislike a book. Alright, I finished the first chapter of 77 Shadow Street, and I'm unhauling this one too. I just didn't really care that much. I'm pretty sure the main character, or not the main character, the perspective character of the first chapter is about to die, but either way, I didn't really care about him. I can't say care because a lot of the characters in his books are meant to be unlikable. I wasn't invested in what was happening to him, if that makes sense. So, I read the first chapter of 10 books, and I'm unhauling 5 of them, which is actually better than I was thinking it was going to be in the last few books. Not bad. Getting rid of 5 books is pretty solid. It's so much harder to remember my outro when I'm not in my formal spot with the camera setup and all that. I post book-related videos every Wednesday, so if you want to see more, subscribe. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to keep talking, you can find me on Twitter at Kelsey Reads, Instagram at Kelsey Reads, or Goodreads at Kelsey Lynn Reads. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.